charge tried in our criminal courts. You have heard a long and complex case, ladies and gentlemen, and it is now your duty to sit down to try and separate the facts from fantasy. One man is dead. The life of another is at stake. If there is a reasonable doubt in your minds as to the guilt of the accused, then you must declare him not guilty. If, however, there is no reasonable doubt, then he must be found guilty. Whichever way you decide, the verdict must be unanimous. I urge you to deliberate honestly and thoughtfully. You are faced with a grave responsibility. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
He doesn't stand a chance.
Shall we go? Go? Go?
Thank you, but no.
You know something?
I know a lot of things. I'm in advertising.
You know, it's hot.
Oh, now I would never have known that if he hadn't told us, would you?
I suppose not. I'd kind of forgotten.
Well, I've been sweating all day. Well,
Yeah. Well, I bet you're not sweating like that kid they just tried.
Yeah, you'd think they'd at least air condition the place, not drop dead in court.
oh, brother, my taxes are high enough as it is.
Yeah, well, this should go fast anyway.
Yeah, it's hot. Okay, guys, it's okay, everyone. I'll be right outside if you need me. Just know that.
Hey, wait a minute. Did he just lock that door?
Yes, he did.
Well, what does he think we are, a bunch of crooks?
Well, you know, they lock us up for a while.
Yeah, and then they lock that kid up forever. That's okay by me.
I never knew they did that.
Sure they locked the door. What do you think they did?
I don't know, it just never occurred to me.
Shall we admit right now that it's hot and humid and our tempers are short?
I feel just fine.
I wonder what's happening down at the ad office. You know, being here for 6 days, my job may be gone when this is over. I mean, the whole office may be gone. They're not liking this.
Well, figure it's our duty.
Well, I understand duty, but I mean, I'm just saying, I may not have a job when this is over.
Well, ask him to hire you. He's rich. Look at the suit.
Is it custom tailored?
Well, as a matter of fact, it is.
I have an uncle who's a tailor.
Oh, how does he do?
Oh, not too well, not too well. He does have a friend. That is a friend of my uncle. He wanted to be on this jury in my place.
Why didn't you let him?
Yeah.
I'd have given anything to miss this.
If you get in trouble or something, you know what kind of fine you can pay for something like that? Well, he wanted to be on this jury because a few years back, he was on a jury in a case just like this.
Oh, yeah? Oh, so, what happened, bud?
Well, they let him go. Reasonable doubt. And the thing is, a few years later, we found out he'd actually done it. A guilty man turned loose on our streets.
Well, now, did they get him?
They couldn't.
Why not?
Double jeopardy. Unless there's a hung jury, you can't try a man twice for the same crime.
Well, we're not gonna have to worry about that here.
No, but really, folks, 6 days. We've been here 6 days. We should have finished it in 2. It was just talk, talk, talk. Have you ever heard so much meaningless talk about nothing?
Well, I guess they're entitled. I mean,
Yes, I suppose. Everyone gets a fair trial. That's the system. Don't suppose you can say anything against it?
Yeah. How'd you like that business about the knife?
Oh,
You
yeah.
ever hear a phonier story?
Well, look, you gotta expect that. You know what you're dealing with.
I mean, he bought a knife that night.
Oh, yeah, then he lost it.
Yeah, hole in his pocket.
Yeah, a hole in his father.
Awful way to kill your father. A knife in the chest.
Oh, look at the kind of people they are. You know them.
What's the matter with you down there anyway? You got a cold?
Yeah, oh, Lulu. These hot weather colds are killing you, man.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I had one last year while on vacation, too.
Oh, man. All right, let's take seats. Let's begin.
Right, this better be fast. I've got tickets to Birdcage tonight. I think I'm the last guy in the world who hasn't seen it yet. All right, Your Honor, start the show.
All right, sir, by the window, could you have a seat? You there by the window, we're gonna get started. Could you have a seat?
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's tough to figure it. I mean, a kid kills his father. Bing, just like that. Oh, well, it's the element, you know. They let their kids run wild. Maybe it serves them right.
There's better proof than some emotion, like a dislike for a group.
Come on, guys, we all agreed it was hot.
But we're not going to have, you know, our tempers aren't going to flare here because this is just an open and shut case. So let's get on with it.
All right, well, we can handle this several different ways. I mean, as foreman, I'm not gonna make up any rules here. We can discuss the case now and vote later. Or I suppose we can just go ahead and vote and see where we stand.
I say let's vote now. Who knows, maybe we can all go home.
Yeah, let's see who's where.
Yes, by all means, let's vote now.
Anyone not want to vote?
That was easy.
All right, well, all those in favor of voting guilty, raise your hand. All right, 11. Anyone for not guilty?
Hey, man, you're out in left field here.
All right, we have 11 votes for guilty, 1 for not guilty. At least now we know where we stand.
No, wait a minute. Now, do you honestly think the kid is not guilty?
I don't know.
6 days, he doesn't know.
I can learn calculus in 6 days. We're talking ABCs.
I don't believe this is as simple as ABC.
I've never seen a guiltier man in my life.
Really? What does a guilty man look like?
Oh,
He is not guilty until we say he's guilty. Are we to vote on his face?
look, you sat right there in court and you heard the same things I heard. The man is a dangerous killer. You could see it.
Where do you look to see if a man is a dangerous killer? No, I'd like to know. Perhaps this gentleman knows something the rest of us don't. What are the facial characteristics of a killer?
Look, what is it about this case that makes you think this boy is innocent?
He's only 19 years old.
Oh, come on now, that's old enough. He knifed his own father 4 inches into the chest. Innocent little 19-year-old kid.
I agree the boy is guilty, but let's not use emotional arguments.
All right, but they proved it over and over again in court. They proved it in a dozen different ways. Do you want me to list them for you?
No.
Well, do you believe that stupid story he come up with?
Now.
No. Did you believe the kid's story?
I don't know whether I believe it or not. Maybe I don't.
What did you vote not guilty for then?
Look, there were 11 votes for guilty. It's not as easy for me to raise my hand and send some boy off to die, especially without talking about it first.
Well, who says it was easy for me?
For me.
No one?
He's just as guilty whether it's an easy vote or a hard vote.
Yeah, is there something wrong just because I voted fast?
Not necessarily.
Look, I think that kid is guilty. You couldn't change my mind if you talked for 100 years.
I don't want to change anyone's mind.
Then just what are you thinking of?
I just think we need to talk for a while. Talk about this boy. Talk about his life. He's had a very hard life. His mother was dead since the age of 9. His father was in prison 2 years, and he spent that time in an orphanage. It's not a very good start for a young individual. He's a tough kid. He's an angry kid. And you know why those slum kids get that way? Because they're hit over the head once a day, every day of their life. I think we just owe them some words, that's all.
Look, sure it's hard. It's been hard for me. I worked my way through college. Everything I've got, I fought for. I fought, but I never killed.
Yeah, I know what it's like, but I never killed nobody.
Yeah, we've all been kicked around. You work in an ad agency and let the big boys that pay the big bucks come in and call the shots. I mean, we all know.
And in my country, there's a kicking you talk about was a sign, so maybe find something better than that, huh?
Look, man, I don't mind telling you, we don't owe this kid a thing, okay? He got a fair trial, didn't he? You realize how much that trial cost?
Yeah.
He's lucky he got it. Look, we're all grown-ups here, man. You're not gonna waltz in here and tell us we're supposed to believe him, not knowing what he is. Look, I've lived amongst these people all my life, okay? You can't believe a word they say, you know that.
No, I don't know that.
What?
And that is one terrible thing for a man to believe. Since when is dishonesty a group characteristic? Mister, you've got no monopoly on the truth.
Oh, all right. It's not Sunday. We
Yeah,
don't
but
need
what
a
that
sermon.
man says is dangerous.
All
Let's
right.
not argue
It's
like
dangerous.
that. Let's not argue like this. Surely we can behave like decent people.
Right.
Well, if you insist, sir.
Thank you. Sure. If we're going to discuss the case, let's discuss the facts.
Well, that's a good point. We have a job to do. Let's get on with it.
And if you gentlemen and the ladies don't mind, I'm gonna close the window. There's a blowing on my neck.
If you don't mind, I'd like to have the window open.
But there was a blowing on me.
Don't you want some air? It's summer, it's hot out.
I'm not a very happy person. Maybe you need a hug, huh?
What are you afraid of? Somebody's gonna come through the window and pull you out? We're on the second floor, it's
Yeah, I got
secure.
rights too, okay?
Yeah, what about the rest of us?
Couldn't you trade chairs with someone at the other end of the table?
Okay, I'll open the window. And maybe somebody trade with me, huh?
You can take my chair.
Thank you very much.
All right, can we get back to the actual case?
Yeah, let's.
Look, maybe I've got an idea. I'm just thinking out loud. But it seems that maybe the job of most of us is to convince this gentleman that we're right and he's wrong. So maybe we could each take a minute or two and expound our views, tell him why we think the boy's guilty, try it on for size.
Sounds fair.
Very fair.
Suppose we go based on our jury numbers.
All right, start it off.
All right, let's see. We'll start with number 2.
Oh. Well, I think he's guilty. I thought that was obvious.
In what ways was it obvious?
Well, in that nobody proved otherwise.
No one has to prove otherwise. Innocent until proven guilty. The burden of proof is on the prosecution. The defendant doesn't even have to open his mouth. That's in the Constitution, the Fifth Amendment. Perhaps we've heard of that, people?
Everybody has.
Well, sure, I've heard of it. I know what it is. What I meant was, well, I think he's guilty.
No reasons. Just guilty. People, take this seriously. There is a man's life at stake.
Wait a minute. Okay, then let's get to the facts. Number 1, the old man who lived on the second floor, just underneath the room where the murder took place. He, at 10 minutes after 12, on the night of the killing, he said that he heard loud noises in the apartment upstairs. He said he thought it sounded like a fight. All right, at one point he heard the boy yell, "I'm going to kill you." A second later, he heard what he thought was a body falling. So he ran to his door, he opened the door, he looked out and he saw the kid running down the stairs and out of the house. Then he called the police. Now when they arrived, they found the father lying there with a knife in his chest.
And the coroner fixed the time of death around midnight.
That's right. Now what more do you need than that?
I don't know. It just doesn't seem to all fit.
The boy's entire story is flimsy. He claimed he was at the movies, but he couldn't even remember what picture he saw.
That's right, that's absolutely right.
He didn't even have a ticket stub,
Well, who keeps a ticket stub from a movie?
I suppose, but the cashier didn't even remember him.
Yes, and then the ticket taker didn't either.
And what about the lady that lives across the street? Now, if her testimony doesn't prove it, then nothing does, okay?
That's right. She said she saw the murder.
And what, oh, look, just a minute here now. Here's a lady that's lying in bed, and she can't sleep.
Well, let's go in order here.
No, let me finish here. Now, here's a lady, she's lying in bed, she can't sleep because it's hot, it's summer, you know? Okay, eventually she does doze off to sleep, and then she wakes up, she looks out her window, and right across the street, she sees the kid stab his father.
How can she really be sure it was the boy she saw stabbing the father? She had to see it through the passing windows of an elevated train.
Because she's known the kid all his life, okay? And the window in which the murder took place is right across the L tracks from her window, and she swore that she saw him do it, all right?
I heard her swear to it.
Okay, and then they proved to each and every one of us in court that you can look across the L tracks and see what's going on through the windows of a passing L train. They proved that to us, man.
Weren't you just telling us a minute or two ago that we can't trust them, that we can't believe them?
Yeah, I said that, so?
Let me ask you this.
Okay.
Why do you believe the old woman? She's one of them, too, isn't she?
Oh, you got a real smart mouth on you, don't you?
Hey, now take
Whoa.
it easy.
Hey, come on, sit down, relax. Why are you letting him get you upset? Just, come on, have a seat.
Look, they took us to the woman's room, and we looked through the windows of a passing L train, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
And weren't you able to see what happened on the other side?
I couldn't see as well as they told me I was going to see, but I guess I could see on the other side.
You see, do you see?
All right, calm down, calm down. Let's see here. 2 went, 3 went, 4 has spoken, 10 spoken out of order. It's 5's turn.
I'll pass.
That's your privilege. 6, how about you?
Well, I don't know. I started to be convinced by the testimony from the people across the hall. Didn't they say something about the father and the son having some sort of fight about 7 o'clock?
No, it was at 8 o'clock.
It was 8 o'clock, that's right.
They heard the father hit the boy twice, and then saw the boy walk angrily out of the apartment.
That's right, that's right.
But what does that prove?
Well, I didn't say it proved anything. It was just part of the big picture, you know. I didn't think it proved anything.
Well, do you have anything else?
No.
Look, folks, I think it's all pretty much been said already. And with this guy in here, I think we're wasting our time.
I don't.
Neither do I. Go on.
All right, well then let's look at the kid's record. He's been arrested for mugging, he stole a car. I think they even said he stabbed somebody in the arm.
They did.
He gets picked up for knife fighting, and at 15, he was in reform school.
Yeah, and they sent him to reform school for stabbing someone.
Yeah, this is a very fine boy.
Oh,
This
yeah.
kid has had a
Yeah.
very difficult life. His father used to beat him up since he was 5 years old. He used his fists on him.
So would I on a kid like
Yeah,
that?
you're not kidding. For crying out loud. I mean, it's the kids. It's the way they are these days. They don't listen. They just don't listen. I have a kid, and when he was 8 years old, I saw him run away from a fight. I saw it. God, I was so ashamed, and I just told him right out, Mister, I'm going to make a man out of you, or I'm going to bust you up into little pieces dry. Well, when he was 15, he hit me in the face. He's big, you know, and I haven't seen him in 3 years. He's a rotten kid. I hate these tough kids. What can you do? You work your heart out for them, and
missing the point here.
Oh.
This kid is the product of a filthy neighborhood. We can't help that. The children who come out of slums are potential menaces to society.
You said it there, man. I don't have a thing to do with them. You can believe that.
I've lived in a slum all my life.
Oh, okay, well, I didn't mean anything.
I used to play in a backyard that was filled with garbage. Maybe it still smells on me.
All right, calm down. There's nothing personal here.
But it is personal.
No, he didn't mean you, lady. He just, specifically, just don't be so sensitive.
Who did he mean then?
I can understand the sensitivity.
All right, can we stop the bickering?
Yeah, we're wasting a lot of time here, folks.
Let's see, 7's gone, number 8 is your turn.
Oh, I didn't think I was gonna get an opportunity. I thought y'all were gonna try to convince me. But I guess I had a very peculiar feeling about this case from the start. Somehow, I never felt that the defense counsel conducted a thorough cross-examination. There were just too many questions that were left unasked.
The kid is guilty, but I agree that the defense counsel was bad.
Well, so?
Well, this is a point.
What about the facts?
The facts, what about all the questions that were never answered?
Oh, well, what about the questions that were answered? For instance, how about that cute little switch knife that kid admitted to buying?
All right, let's talk about the knife. In fact, Mr. Foreman, I'd like to see the knife again.
Oh, my God. We've all seen the knife. We all agree it's an unusual knife. I fail to see why we have to look at it again. What do you think?
The gentleman has a right to see the exhibits in question.
All right, okay by me.
The knife is pretty strong evidence, though, don't you agree?
I agree.
Well, let's get the events right as they relate to the switch knife.
Now, I remember that the boy testified that he left his house at 8 o'clock after his father had slapped him.
Or punched him.
Or punch.
Okay.
Here are the notes that I took during this trial. First, the boy went to the neighborhood store and bought a switch knife. Second, the storekeeper identified that knife as the only one like it he had in stock.
That's right. Now listen to this man.
Third, as you remember, the storekeeper identified the knife and said it was the only one he had. Why did the boy get it?
A present for a friend of his, he says.
Am I right so far?
Yes, you're right.
Next, the boy says that on the way home, the knife must have fallen out of a hole in his pocket. Now, there's a story for you. We know what actually happened. The boy went to the apartment, stabbed his father, and even remembered to wipe off his fingerprints. Everyone has identified this knife. Are you asking us to believe that someone found this knife on the street, picked it up, went up to the apartment, and stabbed the father just to be amusing?
No, all I'm saying is it's possible. It's possible that the boy, in fact, did lose the knife. It's possible that someone else stabbed the father with a similar knife. I'm just saying it's possible.
Take a look at this knife. Everyone, take a look at this knife. It's a very strange knife. I've never seen one like it before. Neither had the storekeeper. Aren't you asking us to believe an incredible coincidence?
No, I'm not trying to make anyone believe anything. All I'm saying is that it's possible.
And I'm saying it's not possible.
Sweet river. You are anyway.
All right, quiet down.
All right, what are you doing?
Where did you get that?
I bought it in a small store around the corner from the boy's house. It cost $2.
All right, pal. You played a real smart trick on us here, but you're proving absolutely zero. Maybe there are 10 other knives like that. So what?
Maybe there are.
The boy lied and you know it.
Maybe he lied. You know what? Maybe he didn't. Maybe he did go to the movies. And the reason that the cashier or the ticket taker didn't recognize him is because he snuck in. And he was too embarrassed to say so. Now come on. Haven't we all snuck into movies when we were younger at least once?
I did.
Not even once.
No, we didn't have no movies.
Maybe he told the truth. And maybe he did lie. Do you think he lied?
Well, that's a stupid question. Of course he lied.
What about you?
You know my answer. He lied.
Do you think he lied?
I don't know.
Wait a minute, man, what are you, the kid's lawyer? Look, there's still 11 of us in this room who think he's guilty. You're alone. What do you think you're going to accomplish? You can sit in here and be stubborn and hang this jury. And they'll try that kid again and he'll be convicted sure as he's born.
You're probably right.
So what are you going to do about it? We could be in here all night.
But it's only one night. Besides, a man might die.
Oh, now come on.
That's right. That is a point.
All right, I think we should get on with it here.
Obviously, you don't think the boy is guilty.
I have a doubt in my mind.
But you haven't explained that doubt. There was an old man. He heard the boy scream.
The woman across the L track, she saw it.
Yeah, and we know he bought a switch knife that night, but we don't know where he really was. At the movies?
Yeah, that's right. Earlier that night, the kid and his father did have a fight.
He's been a violent kid all the way, and while that doesn't necessarily prove anything,
Oh, still, you don't.
All right. I have a proposition. I call for another vote. You 11 will vote by secret ballot. I'll abstain. If the 11 of you bring back verdicts for guilty, I won't stand in the way anymore. We can take a guilty verdict into the judge right now.
All right, let's do it.
Yeah, roll it.
Let's go.
Anyone object? No objection?
Vote now.
All right. Anyone have a pencil? Anyone else?
Yes. There you go.
All right. Guilty? 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 Guilty?
That's 6.
Please.
All right.
Please, all right. The votes, 6 in favor of guilty. Guilty? 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 Not guilty?
What?
What?
And guilty.
Oh, now how do you like that?
Who was it? I think we have a right to know.
All right, who did it? Who did it? Who's the idiot who changed their vote?
Now, is that a way to talk about a man's life?
Wait. Whose life are you talking about? The life of the dead man or the life of a murderer?
Yeah, I want to know who it was.
So do I.
Hello? This was a secret ballot, no?
Look, nobody looked while we did it, but I want to know now.
A secret ballot. We all agreed on this point. If the person wants to remain a secret
What do you
ballot,
mean? What do you mean? There are no secrets in here. Besides, I know who it was. What is the matter with you? You come in here and you vote guilty, and then this slick preacher starts tearing your heart out with stories about poor innocent little slum kid who couldn't help but become a murderer, and you change your vote. That isn't the most sickening thing.
Now hold it.
What?
I agree he's guilty, but let's be fair.
Hold it? Let's be fair? That's just what I'm talking about. We're trying to send a guilty man to the chair where he belongs, and all of a sudden, we're paying attention to fairy tales.
Now wait just a
No,
minute.
no, you listen to
Now
me.
let's try to keep this organized.
This is definitely not organized, but let's keep it civilized.
Please, I would like to say something here. I've always thought that a man was entitled to unpopular opinion in this country. This is one of the reasons why I came here. I want to have the right to disagree too.
Do you disagree with us?
Usually I would. In this case, I agree with you. But the point I wish to make is that in my own country, which I'm very ashamed to say, is that
Oh, man, what are we going to do now? Listen to the entire history of your country?
We are allowed to disagree in this country, but let's stick to the subject.
Right. Sticking to the subject. I want to ask you, why did you change your vote?
Yeah, I want to know too. You haven't told us yet.
Why do you think I changed my vote?
Because I do. Now get on with it.
Look. Leave her alone. She's got nothing to tell you. She didn't change her vote. I did.
Oh,
I was going to tell you, but you were all so sure of yourself.
All right, sorry. Okay,
Well,
now,
maybe you'd like to know.
maybe you'd
why.
like me to tell you
The
why
man
this
wants to
kid...
talk.
Thank you, Mr. Foreman. This gentleman here chose not to stand alone against us. And that's entirely his right. Now, it takes a great deal of courage to stand alone against something, even if you believe very strongly in it. Now, he left a verdict up to us. He gambled for support, and I gave it to him. I want to hear more. So, the vote is 10-2.
Oh, that's just fine. So now that your speech is over with, can we get on with this?
You know, if there was anything in the kid's favor, I'd vote not guilty.
I don't see what it is.
Neither do I. They're clutching at straws.
Guilty as they get. That's the kid, I suppose.
Yes, but that one juror, he's holding out. He'll come around. He's a reasonable man.
I guess so.
They haven't given us one fact yet to back up a not guilty verdict.
Well, that is hard, you know.
Yes, and what does guilty beyond a reasonable doubt really mean?
What is a reasonable doubt?
Exactly. But we've got to have law and order. We've got to draw the line somewhere. Otherwise, people will go around knifing each other.
Not much doubt here.
Well, two men think so. And I wonder why. I really wonder why.
Well, you do hear stories about people going to jail or even death sometimes, and then years later things will turn up.
That's true. But then again, some killers go loose and they go out and kill again.
Look, lady, ma'am, a little while ago I got kind of upset, and now that things are cooled down, I didn't mean to be nasty. There's nothing personal involved.
Okay.
Supposing you answer me this. If that kid didn't kill him, then who did?
As far as I know, we're not to concern ourselves with that. We're only to determine whether the boy on trial is guilty or not. We're not concerned with anyone else's motives.
I suppose. But I mean, who else even had a motive?
Father was along in years. Perhaps there was a grudge.
And you remember now, it is guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. That's an important thing to remember.
Okay, everybody's a lawyer in here, aren't they? Look, suppose you just explain to us what your reasonable doubts are.
Well, that's not so easy for me to say.
Well,
So far, it's only a feeling that I have. A feeling. And perhaps you don't understand.
no, I don't. I don't.
A feeling. A feeling. What are we going to do now? Spend all night talking about your feelings? What about the facts, man?
Yeah, you said a mouthful. The old man heard the kid yell, "I'm gonna kill you." Then a second later, he heard a body drop. He ran to the door of his apartment. He saw the kid running out of the house 15 seconds later.
Yeah, now where's the reasonable doubt in that?
That's right, and don't forget the woman across the street. She said she looked out her window and she saw the kid stab his father. She said she saw it.
I don't know. It just doesn't seem to fit.
It is enough for you. I'd like to know.
How do you like this guy? It's like talking into a dead phone.
Look, the woman saw the killing through the windows of a passing train. The train had 5 cars. The woman saw the killing through the windows of the last 2 cars. She remembers the most insignificant details.
That's right. That's absolutely right. Now listen to this man.
I don't know. It's
What
just
more do you-
not enough for me.
Well, suppose you think about it for a while. I mean, have your pencil. I'm gonna play a little tic-tac-toe. Do something to pass the time.
This is not a game.
What are you doing?
This is a man's life we're talking
Who
about.
do you think you are?
All right, guys, take it easy.
I have a good mind to walk around this table and belt him one.
Hey, now, we don't
Who do
need
you
to
think
fight
you
in
are?
here.
Hey, how about sitting down?
All right,
Sit
forget
down.
about it, man. Forget about it. It don't mean anything.
Nerve of this guy.
This isn't a game. All right.
Weren't we talking about elevated trains?
Yes, we were.
So,
Okay, let me ask all of you a question. How long does it take an elevated train to pass a given point?
what has that got to do with anything?
How long would it take? Take a guess.
I wouldn't have the slightest idea.
Yeah, neither would I.
Anyone, take a guess, someone. You,
About 10 or 12 seconds, maybe.
okay? I think that sounds like a fair guess. Anyone else?
I would think about 10 seconds perhaps.
About 10 seconds, yes.
All right, we're agreed, 10 seconds.
Okay.
What are you getting at?
This, it takes an elevated train 10 seconds to pass a given point. That given point is the room in which the murder took place. We were there, people, remember? You opened up the window, you could reach out and touch the L tracks.
That's right, I tried it.
So,
Let me ask this, has anyone here ever lived next to the L tracks?
I've lived close to them.
They make a lot of noise, don't they?
Yeah.
When the train goes by and the window is open, the noise is so loud, it's almost unbearable. You can't even hear yourself think.
Okay, you can't hear yourself think, so would you get to the point?
The point is, the old man, he said that he heard the boys say, right when there was the argument, he heard the boys say that,
He didn't say it, he screamed it.
okay, he heard the boys scream, "I'm going to kill you." And then 1 second later, he heard the body fell. Now that's the testimony, right?
right,
Yeah.
Okay, the old woman across the street, she lived across the L tracks. She said that she saw the killing through the last 2 cars in the L train. The L car had already been going by for 5 or 6 seconds,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
Right.
right.
Okay.
Think about it, people, the last 2 cars of the L train. The last 2 cars.
What are you giving us here, man?
Think about it. If the train had been going by and it takes 10 seconds to pass a given point, or 2 seconds per car, the old man had testified that he saw the body fall 1 second after the killing. He heard the noise. Now, the woman across the street, her own testimony said that the train had already been going by for 5 or 6 seconds at that point. That means that the old man would have had to hear the boy yell, "I'm going to kill you," when the front of the L train is roaring right past his nose in its open window. It's not possible that he could have heard it
Sure, it's possible.
with an L train passing by.
Yeah, of course, he could have heard it.
An L train that makes a lot of noise.
Oh, come on, he yelled it out loud.
That's enough for me.
It's enough for me too.
I don't think he could have heard it.
Maybe the old man didn't hear it. I mean, with the L noise.
Oh, what are you saying? Are you calling the old man a liar?
No, I'm saying that something just doesn't seem to make sense.
Stands to reason.
Now, you're crazy. Now, why would he lie? What does he have to gain?
Attention, maybe.
Attention. Attention. You keep coming up with all these bright sayings. Why don't you just send him into the newspaper? They pay $2 for him.
Now, what does that have to do with a man's life?
Just.
Why might the old man be lying? Sir, you have a right to speak.
Well, I just looked at him for a very long time now. The seam of his jacket was torn up under his arm. He carried 2 canes. Now, did any of y'all notice that? No, he was a very old man that had that torn jacket. And as I stated, he carried 2 canes. But you see, I think I know him better than anyone here. This is a quiet, frightened, insignificant man who's been nothing all of his life. Never had any kind of recognition. Never had his name in the newspapers. Nobody even knows him after 75 years. Believe me, this is a sad thing. A man like this needs to be recognized, needs to be questioned and listened to, and yes, quoted just once. This would be very important to him.
So you're not trying to tell us that the old man lied just because he wanted to feel important?
No, he really wouldn't lie, but perhaps he'd make himself believe that he heard those words and that he recognized the boy's face.
Well, now, if that isn't the most fantastic story I ever heard, how can you make up things like that?
I am not making it up.
You must be making it up. People don't lie about that sort of thing.
He made himself believe he told the truth.
What do you know about it?
I speak from experience.
What?
I am the same man.
I think we all understand now. Thank you.
Well, if you want to go ahead and admit you're a liar, that's fine by
Now
me.
that is too much.
He just told us he's a liar.
He did not say he was a liar. He was explaining.
Didn't you just admit you're a liar?
He was explaining why he understood the old man might have lied. There is a difference.
Well, a liar's a liar as far as I'm
Please have some
concerned.
compassion.
All right, we have our jobs and our duties here.
I think they covered it.
I hope that we have.
All right, is there anything else?
Cough drop?
No, thank you.
Anybody want a cough drop?
Come on, let's get on with the case.
I'll take one. Okay. I think at this point we've proven that the old man never heard the boy say, "I'm going to kill you."
No, I disagree.
Let's hear him through anyway.
But let's say he did hear it. That phrase, "I'm going to kill you." How many times have each of us said it? We say it all the time. Your kids, they're acting out. You say, "Son, if you don't listen to me, I'm going to kill you." Or you're watching the fight at home. You say, "Go on, Rocky, get in there and kill." We say it every day. It doesn't mean we're actually going to kill someone.
Don't the circumstances here alter that somewhat?
Yeah. I mean, in our case, the man was murdered.
Yeah, and one thing more. The phrase was, "I'm going to kill you, I'm going to kill you," and he screamed it at the top of his lungs.
That's the way I understand it.
Yeah, and don't try to tell me he didn't mean it. When somebody says something like that, the way he said it, they mean it.
And how they mean it.
Really? Let me ask you this. Do you really think the boy is going to scream, "I'm going to kill you," at the top of his lungs for the entire neighborhood to hear? I don't think so. He's much too bright for that.
Right. Man, the boy's a common ignorant slob. He don't even speak good English.
And he doesn't even speak good English, okay?
I think the boy is clever enough.
I'd like to change my vote.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'd like to change it to not guilty.
Oh, come on. God.
the doubt?
Where? What is the doubt?
Go on, give us the reasons.
Well, there's the knife.
Oh, fine.
And the old man, too. Maybe he didn't lie, but then again, maybe he did. Maybe the old man just didn't like the kid.
Oh, well, if that isn't the end.
I believe that there is a reasonable doubt.
But what are you basing it on? Stories that this guy made up? He should be writing for Amazing Detective Monthly. He'd make a fortune. Listen, the kid had a lawyer, didn't he? Why didn't he bring up all these points?
Lawyers don't always think of everything.
Oh, brother. You sit in here just pulling all these stories right out of thin air. And now we're all supposed to believe that that old man didn't get up out of bed, run to the door, and see the kid beating it downstairs 15 seconds after the killing.
That is the testimony, I believe.
Yeah, and that the old man testified to it and swore to this under oath just so that he could feel important.
Did the old man say that he ran to the door?
Ran, walked, what's the difference? He got there.
I don't remember what he said, but I don't think that the old man can run.
He said he went. I remember it. He said he went. Isn't that enough?
Wait a minute. Let's think about this for a second. Where exactly was the bedroom?
It was down the hall somewhere.
Down the hall somewhere?
Yeah.
Are we going to send a boy off to die because of down the hall somewhere?
I thought you remembered everything. Don't you remember that?
Yeah,
No, I don't.
I don't remember either.
In fact, Mr. Foreman, I'd like to see the diagram of the apartment.
Oh, for God's sakes. Why don't we just have them run the whole trial over again? Just so you can get everything straight.
Down the hall somewhere. Yes. Do you know exactly where it is? Are you confident enough to risk a boy's life on this fact? Do you know?
Well, it was out and down.
No. Mr. Foreman, the diagram.
I heard you.
All right, what is this one for? Why are you the only one who wants to keep seeing these exhibits over and over again?
I want to see this one too.
So do I.
I want to stop wasting time.
Are we going to start wading through all this nonsense about where the body was found?
No. No, we're not. We're going to figure out how an old man that's had 2 strokes in the last 3 years and walks with a pair of canes, we're going to figure out if he can actually get to his door in 15 seconds.
He said 20 seconds.
No, he said 15.
So, the 15 seconds, how can you judge something like that?
Well, now, he said 15, and he was very positive about
All right, but look, he's an old man. You saw that in court. Half the time he was totally confused. How can someone like that be positive about anything? Well, you know.
No, we don't know.
Oh, shut
Maybe you do.
Is this what you wanted?
Yes, thank you. You with this?
Yes, please. Where can I set it up?
I'll put it right here.
Do me a favor and wake me up when this is over.
Oh, man, I looked at that diagram for over 2 hours in court. Enough is enough.
Some of us are interested. Go ahead.
Okay, can everyone see the diagram?
Oh, yeah.
All right, this is a diagram of the apartment in which the murder took place. Now, the old man that we're talking about, he lived directly below him, and the apartments were identical. The L tracks run right along the apartment building. You have the bedroom, the living room, bathroom, the kitchen, the hallway, and then the staircase down. Now, the old man testified that he was in bed the time he heard the noise. That he got up, walked out of his bedroom, walked down the hallway, and and saw the boy running down the stairs.
That's the story.
That's what happened.
And do you think he could have done this all within 15 seconds?
Correct.
People, think about this. This man, now it's 12 feet from his bed to the bedroom door. Then it's 43 feet, 6 inches down the hallway. That means this old man that's had 2 strokes in the last 3 years would have to get up out of bed, grab his canes, walk the 12 feet out his bedroom, open the bedroom door, walk 43 feet, 6 inches down the hallway, and open his door all within 15 seconds. It's not possible that he did it in that time.
Sure, it's possible.
I don't see why not.
Yeah, he would have been in a hurry. He heard the scream.
And he could only walk very slowly. They had to help him into the witness chair.
Well, you make it sound like a long walk, but it's not.
For an old man that uses canes, it is.
Hey, say, what are you doing?
Well, I'm going to try this. I want to figure out exactly how long it took the old man to get to his front door. I'm pacing off 12 feet, the bed to the bedroom door.
You're crazy. You can't recreate something like this.
Yeah, perhaps if we could see this, it's a very important point.
I think it's a ridiculous waste of time.
Oh, let him do it.
Okay,
I don't see any harm in it.
all right. Now, how far do we say it is from the chair down there that's going to represent the bedroom door to this chair that's the front door? How far?
I'd say 20 feet.
It's just about.
20 feet? Okay, that's fine. So that means up and back would be 40 feet, which is still a length shorter than the hallway, right?
Oh, look, man, this is insane. What makes you think you can do this?
Well, we can't stop it.
Do you mind if I try? According to you, this will only take 15 seconds. We can spare 15 seconds. All right. Does anyone have a watch that has a second?
Oh, I do.
Okay, great. When you want me to start, stamp your foot. That'll be the body hitting the ground.
We'll start from there.
Now, we're going to assume that the old man kept his canes right by the bed, right?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
Well,
Well, I want the second hand to be at 60.
Oh.
Holy.
Bedroom door.
Hey, look, man, speed it up. The old man walked twice as fast as that.
Now, this I think is even more quickly than the old man walking the
No, it isn't.
All right. If you want me to speed it up, I will.
speed it up a little.
Front door, stop.
Right.
What's the time?
30, 35, 39 seconds exactly.
That can't be.
39 seconds.
It's what?
Now, that's interesting.
Hey, now, you know this.
What do you think of that now?
39 seconds. 39.
And the old man swore on his oath that it's 15.
Yeah, he may have been a little bit off on the time that the old man moved, but 24 seconds? Well, now you know.
Yeah, far be it from me to call anyone a liar, but even like quite a difference in speed between you and the old man today. That's still quite
Quite
a.
a discrepancy.
If you ask me, the old man was going down the hallway, heard someone running down the stairs, and simply assumed that it was the boy.
Assumed? He simply assumed it was the boy? Now, wait a minute. Listen to me, you people. I've seen a lot of dishonesty in my day, but this little display here just takes the cake.
What dishonesty?
Oh, man, tell it. Tell him. You come in here with your heart bleeding all over the floor about slum kids and injustice, and you make up a lot of wild stories, and you get a few soft-hearted old ladies to listen to you, but I'm not. I'm getting a little sick and tired of you. What is the matter with you people? What is the matter? We're letting a guilty man get away. The kid is guilty. He has to burn. He's slipping right through our fingers.
Slipping through our fingers?
Yes.
Are you his executioner?
I'm one of them.
And I bet you would like to pull the switch.
Oh, for this kid, you bet I'd pull the switch.
I feel sorry for you.
Oh, don't
What
start
it must
with
feel
me.
like to want to pull the switch. You are a
Shut up.
sadist.
Shut up.
You want this boy to die
Shut
because
up.
you personally want it,
Shut
not because
up.
of the fact you discussed.
Shut up!
You're a
I'll
beast.
kill you! I'll kill you!
You don't really mean you'll kill me, do you?
Done with the diagram, you can take that back.
Well, what are you looking at?
I don't see why we have to behave like children here.
And nor do I. Look, people, we got a responsibility here, huh? It's a remarkable thing about this democracy that we are, what is the word? Notified. That we're notified by mail to come down to this flesh and decide on the guilt or innocence of a man. A man we not known before. We have no gain or loss by our verdict. This is one of the reasons why we are strong. We should not make it a personal thing.
Thank you very much.
What do you think of me on that?
Well, we forget, young man. It's good to be reminded.
I'm glad we're going to be civilized about this.
Well, we're still nowhere.
No. No, we're somewhere. We're getting there. Maybe.
Maybe.
Okay. Anybody got any bright ideas?
I think we should try another vote. Mr. Foreman?
Fine by me.
Yeah.
Let's vote.
All right then, I want an open ballot. Let's call out our votes. I want to know who stands where.
All right. Anyone object?
Let's vote.
Okay. I vote guilty. Number 2?
Not guilty.
Number 3?
Guilty.
Number 4?
Guilty.
Number 5?
Not guilty.
Number 6?
Not guilty.
Number 7?
Guilty.
Number 8?
Not guilty.
Number 9?
Not guilty.
Number 10?
Guilty?
Number 11?
Not a guilty.
Number 12?
Guilty.
That's 6-6.
God, I will tell you. The crime that's being committed is being committed right in this very room.
He's right. The vote is 6-6.
Well, I'm ready to walk into court right now and just declare a hung jury.
Yeah.
There's no point in this going on anymore.
I'd like to know why you changed your vote. I'd like to know why you changed your vote and why you changed your vote. There's 6 of us here who think we might be letting a killer go loose on the street. Emotion won't do. Why?
I don't think that the old man saw the boy run down the stairs. Now, if he didn't see him run down the stairs, then he probably didn't hear him scream, "I'm going to kill you." Now, old men dream. And you know, if the boy said, "I'm going to kill you," we have the authority of this man to prove that what he said didn't mean that he was actually going to kill.
Why don't we just take this into the judge and let the kid take his chances with 12 other people?
Yeah. 6-6. I don't think we'll ever agree on anything.
It has to be unanimous, and we're never going to convince him.
At first, I was alone. Now 5 others agree with me. There is a doubt.
Well, you cannot ever convince me that there's a doubt, because I can clearly see there ain't no doubt here.
Oh, I'll tell you what. I think we're a hung jury. I mean, it happens.
We are not going to be a hung jury.
Well, we are right now. We're in perfect balance. Let's take it into the judge.
If there is a reasonable doubt, I don't see it.
Yeah, but the doubt is there in my mind.
Well, maybe we should vote on it.
God, again,
What?
vote on what?
Well, are we or aren't we a hung jury?
I mean, we vote yes, we are a hung jury, or no, we're not a hung jury.
Well, that's what I was thinking of.
We can't even agree on whether or not the window should be open.
Yeah, but we can make it a majority vote, and the majority would win.
So if 7 or more vote yes, then we're a hung jury, and we take it to the judge and tell him
Okay.
that we're a hung jury.
That's right, or a 7 or more vote no, we're not a hung jury, and we'll just go on discussing the case.
I don't know, it doesn't seem quite right to me.
Oh, it's the only solution.
Yeah, I think it might be the only way.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's vote.
All right, we agree then, 7 or more votes for yes, and we'll take it into the judge.
Sure, why not?
Okay? We'll call out our votes again, I suppose, if no one objects.
Yeah, let's
to that.
call out our votes.
I vote yes, we're a hung jury. Number 2?
No.
All right, number 3?
Yes.
Number 4?
Yes.
Number 5?
No.
Number 6?
No.
Number 7?
Yes.
Number 8?
No.
Number 9?
No.
Number 10?
Yes.
Number 11?
No.
Number 12?
Yes.
That's 6 to 6.
Oh, we can't even get a majority to determine whether or not we're a hung jury. Gee.
I went along with voting this way, even though I didn't think it was the right thing to do. So I'm changing my vote. I say no, we are not a hung jury. I think the boy is guilty, and I want to hear from these jurors who have changed their minds.
Well, that means we're not a hung jury, and we go on discussing the case.
Good.
Right.
We go on.
Why did you change your mind?
Well, he seems so sure of himself and has made a number of good points here today, while he just gets mad and insults everybody.
Yeah.
So you're telling us that you would let a killer go free because he gets angry and insulting?
Well, that's true.
There is a doubt.
I don't think so. Remember, the track is straight in front of the window. So the L train would have made a low rumbling noise. L trains make screeching noises only when they go around the curves. So the old man could have heard a scream. And remember, the walls of this tenement were very thin.
Good. Good. That's it. That's it right there.
And what if the old man was wrong about how long it took him to get down the hall, but right about who he saw on the stairs? There were no fingerprints on the knife. It was summer, so no gloves would have been used.
That's right. That absolutely is right. I want you to listen to this man. He's got the goods.
Yeah.
And it might have taken the killer a few seconds to take a handkerchief out and wipe the fingerprints off the knife.
It seems like this is the point.
Well, why don't we time it just to see?
Just what are we timing now?
Yes, let's be exact, please.
Okay, I'm saying that the old man may have been wrong about how long it took him to get down the hall, but right about who he saw on the stairs. It likely would have taken the killer about 39 seconds to wipe the fingerprints off the knife and then to run down the hall and down the stairs to the place where the old man saw him.
Well, we time the old man getting out of bed, walking to the door. We reconstructed that. Let's reconstruct the actual crime.
As well as we can reconstruct it.
Yeah, I mean, I think a killer could have used 30 to 40 seconds pretty easily at that point.
Yeah.
Let's reconstruct the killing.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's do that.
Let's do it. Here, you do the stabbing.
No, I'll do it.
All right.
Okay.
How about you being the one who gets stabbed? You're younger than I am, and when you remember, it takes you a second to drop to the floor.
Now remember, the old man was found on his right side.
Yes.
So when you fall on your right side. Now, anyone who hates a person enough to kill him would have taken a few seconds to look at his victim, don't you think?
Yeah.
Yeah, just, disregard the facts of this particular case, but, like human nature being.
No, I agree, that seems reasonable.
Hey, and wait a minute now. He falls and he ends up on his right side. The father did. But stabbing someone is not like shooting someone, even when it's right in the heart. He probably worked around, the father did, on the floor there for a few seconds.
That's right. He would have had enough oxygen in his system to take him another 2 or 3 seconds, I suppose.
And wouldn't the father have cried out?
Well, maybe the kid held his mouth.
That also seems possible.
Remember also that anyone who would think to wipe his fingerprints off the knife would have thought to look around the room and make certain there were no other clues.
Well, and this on the fingerprints, the kid wiped the fingerprints off the knife, but what about the doorknobs? I mean, if I were at home, I saw a man entering my apartment, a man who hated me, he was wiping off the doorknobs before he came in, that would make me feel pretty uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So the killer must have wiped the doorknobs off after the crime took place, and that too would add some time.
Yep, yep.
All right, let's do it. You timed the last one. Why don't you time this one also?
Okay.
Stamp your foot when you're ready for me to begin.
Oh, come on, lady.
Just let it get to 60.
I'm going to kill you. Killer would have then walked over to the victim, wiped the fingerprints off the knife, then to the door, where he would have wiped the doorknobs, both knobs. He then would have looked around the apartment to see if there were any other clues. Stop.
20. Yeah. 20, 25, 26, 29. 29 and a half seconds exactly.
Okay, so whoever did murder the old man, and I think it was the boy, still had to run down the stairs and down at least, down the hall and down at least one flight of stairs.
This is getting better and better.
So the old man may have been wrong about how long it took him to get down the hall, but right about who he saw on the stairs.
So that makes both times work out right. The test you did and the test we did, what with adding the running down the stairs to it, they come out about the same.
Yeah, the old man just testified to that so he could feel important. He's probably right to some extent. The old man's the same as everyone else, and life is at stake.
So the story of the old man may well be true.
Except for the fact that the old man swore. He absolutely swore under oath that it was only 15 seconds.
Yeah, but we all seem to agree that it was 25 to 40 seconds later.
You're now admitting that the old man, under oath, lied in one part and told the truth in another part. Now, I agree that this does tend to confirm the story of the old man, but now he is an admitted liar. And this is by your own admission.
Well, maybe the old man does lie in part and tell the truth in part, but I think I gotta change my vote again. Guilty.
Oh.
All right, well, what do you think? Now what do you think?
Oh, well, I don't know. I think we need to talk some more. At first I thought that he was guilty, and then I switched, but now I'm thinking about swinging back toward guilty. Not really sure.
Well, what about you?
No, I'm still in doubt. Very real doubt.
I say guilty. I was right the first time.
Now we're beginning to make some sense in here.
Well, the vote's 9-3 in favor of guilty, if I calculate it right.
Okay. Let me ask you another question. It's about the old man that lived downstairs. How many of you live or have lived in apartments before?
Yeah, I don't know what you're thinking, but I know what I'm thinking.
And what's that?
Well, I don't live in a tenement, but I know that they're closed and there's just enough light in the hall to see the steps. No more. The light bulbs are very small, and this murder took place in a tenement. Remember how we stumbled on the steps?
It's exactly right, people. We were there. Remember? The officers used really big light bulbs. Most of them even had flashlights. Remember?
An old man misjudged the time by 20 seconds. We all agreed on this point. Same old man looked down a dark hallway of a tenement and recognized a running figure.
He was 100% wrong about the time. It took twice as long as he thought.
Could not old man be 100% wrong in who he assaulted?
That's the most idiotic thing I've ever heard. Now, you're making that up out of thin air.
Let's be honest, folks, we're a hung jury.
Do you truly feel there's no room for reasonable doubt?
Yeah, I do.
I'm begging your pardon, but maybe, just a maybe, you don't understand the term reasonable doubt, huh?
What do you mean I don't understand the term? And who do you think you are to talk to me like that? How do you like this guy? Comes over here running for his life, before he can even take a deep breath, he's trying to tell us how to run the show. Arrogance of him.
No one is asking where anyone came from,
I was born right here.
or where your father came from.
Maybe it wouldn't be a bad idea for us to take lessons from people that did come running here. They may have learned some things that we haven't. We are not so perfect.
Please, I'm not used to this. It's okay, Dusty.
It's not all right.
Fine, fine. I'm sorry. Is that what you want?
Yes, that's what I want.
All right, can we stop the argument? Does anyone have anything constructive to say, about the actual case?
Well, something has been bothering me a bit. This whole business about the stab wound and how it was created, the downward angle of it.
Oh, don't tell me we're gonna go over that again. They went over it and over it in court.
Well, I know they did, but I didn't go along with it. I mean, here, the boy's 5 foot 8 inches tall, right? And his dad was 6 foot 2. That's a difference of 6 inches. Don't you think it a very awkward thing to stab downward into the chest of a man that's half a foot taller than you are?
Wait a minute. You're not going to be satisfied until you see it again. So, I'm going to give you a demonstration. Somebody get up. All right. All right, I'm going to demonstrate this for you, and I want you to pay attention, because I don't want to have to do this again. All right, let's see. This looks kind of silly, but is this about 6 inches?
Oh, that's more than 6 inches.
All right, let it be more. Okay, now, take a close look. I'm going to kill you. Oh, no one got hurt, did they?
No, nobody's hurt.
Now, there it is. Take a look. Down and in. Down and in. That's how I would stab someone in the chest who was taller than me if I were stabbing someone in the chest. And that's how it was done. Now take a look and tell me I'm wrong.
Down and in. I guess there's no argument.
Let me ask you a question. Have you ever stabbed anyone?
Of course not.
Have you?
All right, let's not be silly.
Have you?
No.
Then where do you get all of your information as to how it's done?
It's just common sense, that's all.
Have you ever seen someone stab?
No.
Okay, let's think about this then, people. This boy was an experienced knife fighter. We all know that. He was even sent to reform school for knife fighting, right? Okay, now look at this. Doesn't that seem like an awkward way to stab someone?
What are you asking me for?
Wait a minute. Give me the knife.
Wait, you seen a knife fight?
Yes, I have.
In the movies?
No. Sitting on my back stoop in the backyard, the vacant lots across the street. Way too many of them to remember. Knives kind of came with the neighborhood that I lived in. Guess you try to forget about those things. But anyway, anybody who has experience with knives knows that you do not stab in a downward motion. You stab in an upward motion.
So, then the boy could have made the stab wound that killed his father.
It's conceivable that he could have made the stab wound, but it's not likely. Especially with somebody who has experience with switchblades. And we all know that this kid has experience with switchblade knives.
Well, I don't believe it.
Neither do I. You're giving us a bunch of mumbo jumbo here.
Wait, what do you think?
Well, maybe,
What about you?
I don't know.
Look, I'll tell you all something. I'm getting a little sick of this whole charade. We're getting nowhere fast. Let's pack it up and go home.
No, now before we decide anything else, I want to see if we can all pull this together.
Oh, this should be good.
Do you want me to time this one too?
Let's hear it.
He has a right, let him go ahead.
Wait, I know at the ad agency, when the big shots come in, that's what they say, let's pull it all together. So, I mean, we're here, why don't we, chip a few shots up and see if we can hit the green?
Okay. I want everyone here to look at this logically and consistently.
We have guilty.
Okay. All we have to do is answer one question. Is this kid a smart kid or is this kid a dumb kid?
What do you mean?
We all know that this kid was an experienced knife fighter. He was even sent to reform school for knife fighting. The night of the murder, he bought a knife, a switch knife. It would take a very stupid man to buy a weapon and murder a man, his father, with the type of weapon that everyone would associate with him.
Oh, I quite agree. I quite agree. He's dumb.
Yeah.
But
He's
if
dumb.
he is dumb, then why would he make the type of stab wound that no one would expect him to make?
I'm not quite so sure I understand.
Well, let's think about this. To murder someone takes great emotion, great anger, great hatred. And at that moment, when you go to kill that person, you're going to handle the weapon the best way you know how. Underhand, like an experienced knife fighter. A less experienced knife fighter would stab downward, not knowing how to use the weapon correctly. Now that's how this murder was committed. That would make this boy very, very smart. In fact, so smart that he wiped the fingerprints off the weapon. And so smart that he waited for a passing L train to commit the murder so that it covered the noise and no one heard what happened. Now I ask again, is this kid a smart kid or is he a dumb kid?
Hey, now, wait a minute.
Well, listen now. The woman across the L tracks, she saw the murder through the L train window. So somebody on that L train could have seen the murder too.
That's a possibility, but no one did that we know of.
It would take an awfully dumb person to commit this act during the time that the L train passed.
That's exactly right. A dumb person, a stupid person, so overcome with anger and emotion and rage and hate that he's not even going to hear the train coming. And he's certainly going to handle the weapon as best he can.
So,
this boy is stupid. He is so stupid to do everything to associate himself with this murder. A switch knife murder. Yet, he's smart enough to make a stab wound that no one would suspect. And he's smart enough to wipe off the fingerprints. To make this kid guilty, we have to assume that from 8 o'clock to midnight, he's stupid. But then at midnight, a second before the killing, he's smart. Smart enough to make the stab wound that no one would expect him to. But then he's dumb enough again, so dumb by the end that he doesn't even come up with a good alibi. To make this kid guilty, you have to toss his intelligence like a pancake. People, there's doubt. Doubt. Doubt.
I must say I hadn't thought of that.
The old man and the old man downstairs. He swore under oath that it was only 15 seconds. Yet we all agree that it was closer to 40.
So what you're saying now is the old man lied half the time and then told the truth the other half the time?
That's exactly right. For this kid to be guilty, we have to assume two things are true. First, we have to assume that this kid is smart, and then stupid, and smart, and stupid, and so on. But we also must believe that the old man, under oath, lied half the time and told the truth the other half the time. People, there is a reasonable doubt.
Fine, if it'll get us out of here, I'll buy into your reasonable doubt.
I think I'm sold too.
I wanted more talk and I've had it.
I want another vote.
All right, there's been another vote called for. I suppose the fastest way of handling it is a show of hands. Does anyone disagree with that? Okay, all those in favor of voting not guilty, raise your hand. All right, 9. Those in favor of guilty? All right, the vote's 9-3 in favor of acquittal.
God, I cannot believe you people. How can you think that this kid is innocent? Look, you know how these people lie. I don't have to tell you. They don't know what the truth is. But I will tell you this. These people, they don't need a big reason to kill someone, okay? I mean, they're drinking, they get drunk, and then bang, somebody's lying in the gut. But nobody's blaming them. Nobody's blaming them. It's just how they are. They're violent. Human life to them as it does you and I. And where do you go? Look, these people, they're drinking and they're fighting all the time, okay? And if somebody gets killed, so what the hell? Somebody gets killed. They don't care. Look, there's a few good things about them. I'll be the first one to admit that. And I've known a few of them who were pretty decent. But they were the exception to the rule. Most of them, it's like they don't care. They can do anything they want. Hey, where are you going? Look, it's my time to speak my piece, and you better listen to me. Look, these people, they're no good. There's not a one of them who's worth anything. And we better watch out. This kid here...
I've had enough. If you open your mouth again, I'm going to split your skull.
Hey, look, man, I'm just trying to set these people...
Sit down. Please, everyone, sit down. I think the boy is guilty, and I'll tell you why. The woman across the street looked through the window and actually saw a murder committed.
That's right. That's as far as I'm concerned, that's the most important testimony.
All right, let's talk about her testimony then. What exactly did she say?
The woman said that she went to bed about 11 o'clock. Her bed was against an open.
Go home. It's okay. What's wrong with your pickle? Move.
I enjoyed it too, Tim.